are about to hear from Catherine and Hutson about their story and just, the way they've encountered Jesus in their lives. So just some of you know this because you've maybe given a testimony, but it takes a lot of courage to get up here. So when they come up, there will be more welcome. But I do want to mention that, a testimony is something that all of us have. And it's something that the Lord has put in our hearts, even if we haven't, actually written one. Like, He's already writing our story for us. So if you've never written a testimony, then, we just really do invite you into this moment and think about maybe what the Lord is doing in your heart through whatever joys or struggles that you may be going through. So we're going to invite Catherine up first, and let's give her one more time.
My name is Catherine Cole. I am Christian on the SBA softball team, and I'm a senior retreat leader and part of the peer ministry team. Today, I will share my testimony about how God revealed the value of patience, trust, and love in my life. My faith journey began around the time I was 7. I lived a busy, fun life filled with school, softball, basketball, and church, and loved every bit of it. However, one obstacle started to get worse. I had a skin condition called atopic dermatitis. It's a condition I was born with where I have painful wounds that can cover my body, become itchy and painful, and make it hard to move. However, my doctor misdiagnosed me with eczema, a condition with similar physical qualities, but it's still different. The treatments for eczema began to weaken and destroy my skin from the inside out, and as a result, by the age of 12, I could not do many of my favorite activities. I felt insecure at school because of the appearance of my skin. I had to quit softball because of the painful wounds on my hands and wrists, and I needed to wear gauze and athletic wrap on my hands to play basketball. The only part of my life I found comfort in was God. Many of my conversations with Him began with, "Why is this happening to me?" and "When will this end?" When I hit my lowest point, I cried out to Him, and I made a desperate vow to the Lord. If He healed my body, I would be a vessel of His love and mercy. I would give others the grace I wish I had received. For 1.5 years, I waited for a miracle, and it felt like an eternity. Up to this point, I had seen countless doctors that did not know how to treat my condition. But one day, my grandfather found a dermatologist in Nashville specializing in treating skin conditions and diagnosing them one day. And her name is Dr. Kais. She's been a dermatologist for many years, and the moment my family and I met her, we knew she could help us. She listened to my story and what I had already tried to do to heal my skin, but instantly, she knew what I had and what I needed. When she was my age, she also suffered the same condition. She diagnosed me with atopic dermatitis, which I had never heard of until then, and treated me with the correct medication, and within a week, my wounds healed. By my 14th birthday, my body felt strong and healthy for the first time in 7 years. Gradually, I started to knock the rust off and began rebuilding my life before my skin condition worsened and worked on my softball skills. Before changing schools for my first year of high school, my dad informed me about the softball team's upcoming tryouts. After praying about it, I trained and signed up to try out. After making the team, I thanked God every time I put on gloves and swung a bat pain-free. I made new friends at my new school and played on the varsity softball team, where I hit my first home run during a rivalry game. God not only brought me out of my suffering, but He also blessed my life. Through these years of pain, I learned the value of patience, the importance of God's divine love, and how to trust Him, especially when all I see is pain. I have continued to keep the vow I made to God that day as best as I can. Every day, when I see the scars on my hands and wrists, I remind myself that I am a vessel of His love, and I remember to trust Him to lead me to the right path in my life. Even though I still struggle with my skin, God gave me control over it so that I no longer need to worry about it controlling my life ever again. I hope that you all can hear my testimony today and take away that if you are willing to trust God with your life and wait on His divine timing, He will bless you with more love than you could ever imagine. He will heal your wounds like He did mine. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Everybody hear me? Yes? No? All right. My name's Hutson Frase. You might see me around school. I play football, I wrestle, I'm a senior cheerleader, and ambassador. Today I'm here to give a testimony about my encounters with God. It started when I was in 3rd grade, and me and my family converted from Presbyterian to Catholicism. It didn't really change much of my life at the time, but just the people I saw like an hour a week on Sundays. I had a pretty normal childhood. I went to school, hung out with the kids in my neighborhood, played baseball. I went to Riverdale Elementary and middle school for a little bit. And it may surprise you, but I was a very, very quiet kid. Everyone in my grade kind of knew me, I kind of knew them. I didn't have any problems with anybody. So that was nice. Once 6th grade finished up, my sister decided to homeschool, and it was something I never really thought about doing, but my parents asked me if I wanted to, and I immediately said no. But over the course of a few weeks, I decided to consider it because, I mean, who would not want to sleep until 12 and do absolutely nothing? I didn't really have much of a faith at that time, so I didn't pray about it or anything, but I decided to flip a coin. And heads, I was going to homeschool, tails, I was going to go back to Riverdale. I did best of 7, and I got 4 times in a row. And it kind of made me mad because I did want to go back to Riverdale, so I kept flipping. I got heads 11 times in a row. And that may not sound that crazy, but there is a 0.00048828125% chance of that happening. Don't worry, Coach Medexha helped me calculate that. I lost most of my friends while I was doing this, but I came really, really close with my family, and it was a great experience, even though I lost most of my friends. So then high school rolls around. I go to CBHS. I came out of a graduating class of 1 from 8th grade, so I knew pretty much nobody. And I had a very eventful first 10 minutes. Within the first 5 minutes, whether I knew it or not, I had met my best friend to this day. He had the locker above me, and I had the locker below him. And he was about 5 feet tall, and I was about 6 feet tall, so you can imagine how that worked out. You might know him. His name's Richie. He's got a buzz cut. He's sitting right back there. Within the next 5 minutes, I realized it was going to be a really, really tough year for me. Like I said, I came out of a graduating class of 1 in 8th grade, so I didn't really know anybody. And all the kids that came from private school, they all knew each other, and all the kids from public school, they all knew each other. So I was already quiet, so I got left out pretty quick, and I got bullied quite often, and that took a big toll on my mental health, whether my parents knew it or not. And you know, I got through freshman year, just kind of going through the motions and whatnot, and once summer rolled around, my parents asked me if I wanted to transfer to SBA, and they probably didn't know at the time, but that was like the best news I could have gotten. Even though I didn't know anything or anybody at SBA. My sisters were attending SFA, so it just kind of all worked out. Something that showed me that this school would be a little bit different was this guy added me on Snapchat, right? And I knew him, or knew he went to SBA, I didn't know him. He kept like Snapchatting like this on his couch. And I asked, it was like over a period of 4 hours, and I asked him, do you ever leave that couch? And we've been friends ever since. You might be wondering what this has to do with God. But up to this point in my life, my faith only went as far as sleeping in Mass on Sundays. But during my freshman year at CBHS, my dad started taking me to Mass in the morning at St. Louis, and I really only just went because I wanted a donut. But that changed a little later on. My first year at St. Benedict was still the same. Go to church, kind of just doze off through it, not really pay attention. I still went in the mornings a little bit with my dad, but one morning at the beginning of my junior year when I could finally drive, my dad asked if I wanted to go or not, and I was like, you know what, why not? And right after that, it kind of occurred to me that I could have just stayed home and slept in, but I didn't. And that little sacrifice of getting up early made me question why I was going the first time, or in the first place. It was the first time I'd really taken my faith seriously, and I started to go on my own, and more people eventually started to go with me. First it was Seamus, then it was Braden, then it was Richie, and then even my girlfriend McKenna came with me one time. Although that fizzled out after a while due to some of our busy schedules, celebrating God with some of my closest friends was something that I'll never forget. It helped me bring God into my daily life much more, and my dad and I started listening to Bishop Barron, and this helped me understand some of the questions about my faith that I had. Also, it helped me get my faith more integrated in my daily life. I'm still not perfect, but my mindset has gone from not really even believing in God to trying to be the best version of myself and the person He wants me to be day in and day out. If you didn't get anything from this speech up to this point, I would say question your faith, learn about your faith, and in my opinion, that's the best thing you can do for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for coming. As you can see, we all have a story, and they're all different. So God's writing yours currently, whether you know it or not. So continue to keep that in mind.